would like to welcome Rick Passenier to our booth in Bioeconomy Corporation. Probably, Rick, maybe you can introduce yourself about your organization. It's GoFar, right?
Yes, thank you very much for the invite. And indeed, we present it as Go PHA. So the Go stands for Global Organization for PHA. We were established as a non-profit foundation in 2019 with the support of around 30 companies at that time, including a few big PHA players. At this stage, we have a consortium of around 70 stakeholders, including members, including partners, that all drive the accelerated adoption of PHA globally. So we are established as a foundation in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, in Europe, and we have a registration as a not-for-profit organization in the United States as well. And that makes sure that we can really work on our policy and advocacy activities, as well as on the scientific activities in both continents. And of course, with our presence here at the ISBP 2024 in Malaysia, we're also looking for that connection in Southeast Asia. And maybe I can just explain you a little bit about the three pillars of activities that we have. So basically we drive the adoption of PHA globally, and we do that with three different pathways. One is policy and advocacy. So basically, you know that there's the UN Treaty on Plastics, there is the single-use product item bans all across the world, there are extended producer responsibility schemes around the world, and we engage with different policymakers from US to Europe to different parts of the world to engage with them and inform them about the opportunities that PHA can bring to drive the transition to a circular economy. Second, we have the communication and education pillar. So we have educational products like the PHA Masterclass, we organize webinars with experts, and we also drive awareness by presenting about PHA in different bioplastics fora, in different sustainability fora, etc. And lastly, we have the science, systems and programs activity, where we have the scientific community, where we do joint grant and proposal writing, but we also develop our own scientific programs, for example, on biodegradability, on compostability, end-of-life and waste management systems as well.
Oh, great. So it seems that you are doing a lot of these initiatives, but I have to backtrack a bit. I think some of us are not aware of this PHA and why is it so good for our environment?
So at GoPHA we drive four pillars of what we believe are the most important aspects to consider PHA. First is the renewability. You can make PHA with all sorts of renewable carbon streams as opposed to fossil carbon streams, and this goes from first, second to third generation feedstock. So all the way from, let's say, primary sugars, for example, from sugarcane, sugar beets, to secondary streams, for example, agricultural waste streams, to third generation streams such as waste streams from the industry, such as wastewater streams. Secondly, we have functionality. PHA is the bioplastic generated by nature. It appears in nature, and everywhere around us PHA is being created by bacteria. And by driving the functionalization of these polymers, we can really mimic, the performance of plastics all around. And with that, we see that we can target around 70% of the global plastics production we see as target areas where PHA could fulfill a role there. Third is the circularity. So PHA behaves like a plastic, except with a few differences. We can recycle PHA, we can compost PHA, and we can also biodegrade PHA. And this really creates a very versatile system where in, let's say, a developed waste management infrastructure, you can collect it, you can reuse it, you can recycle it. In a, for example, agricultural system, you can collect it and compost it. And let's say, if the PHA products end up in nature, it would still biodegrade in all different environments, from soil to marine environments. And then the last pillar is the biocompatibility. So PHA is benign to nature, it's benign to our bodies. Even in our gut, there's bacteria that are making PHA. Even animals and also, for example, fisheries use PHA as feed. So in that sense, PHA can be utilized for medical applications like implants, temporary implants like sutures, but also for vaccine delivery and drug delivery systems, for example.
Oh, that is actually almost the perfect solution, I guess,
Exactly.
to replacing our conventional plastics.
And that's why we have founded GoPHA, to really connect the scientific community towards the industry community and the policymakers to really make that step change towards implementation.
Yeah, I guess the prime movers could be the industry themselves. So how do you see maybe the Malaysian industry players can actually take up this challenge of moving towards producing this PHA, or maybe buying some of the resins or making the resins themselves here in Malaysia?
Yeah, so I think in general, Southeast Asian markets have huge potential for adopting PHAs, but also other biopolymers. So what we see is, especially, for example, if you have a lot of island communities, it could be quite difficult to set up integrated waste collection, sortation, recycling facilities. And for those regions, it may be much easier to set up localized composting facilities in order to target your waste management system. And of course there you need products that compost very quickly, and as opposed to other compostable materials, PHA is such a product that composts very rapidly. Next to that, also what we see in this region is that you have a hugely diversified biomass feedstock production potential, right? So you have an abundance of produce that can create sugars. You have an abundance of produce that can create oils and fatty acids, which are all perfect systems in order to feed into PHA manufacturing. And for that, of course, you need a lot of knowledge, which actually, such as with the University of Saints, you have. But then you also need, of course, to connect with the industry, with the government, in order to create policy that would stimulate the use of these sort of bio-based, biodegradable materials, and actually create an advantage of using these materials in a certain value chain. So what we see, for example, what can really work is that you stimulate the use of mandatory compostable products in certain systems. For example, for takeout food containers, for temporary products that get easily littered, for single-serve items such as sachets and those kind of applications, and really policymakers can really drive the implementation for that. Secondly, of course, you need financing. So organizations like yourself can really connect the industry together with science, together with money, in order to set up pilot plans, in order to scale that adoption as well.
Oh, very good. I think those are very good suggestions, and I would really love to see Go PHA.
Thank you.
To continue support this initiative and promoting about PHA to the world, and hopefully can help Malaysia also to connect with the rest of the world.
This would be fantastic, and we're always looking for local advocates of our story, and we know that there's no one-size-fits-all solution for sustainable materials, right? So we really need to work on the system, and we would be very happy to work with Malaysian companies and also policymakers in order to try to make that happen based on all the knowledge that we have working with the different regions. And of course, if Malaysian organizations or globally operating organizations are willing to know more, Go PHA is organizing the 4th PHA World Congress, 3rd and 4th of September in Germany, Düsseldorf. And also we have a membership model where people can really connect and become part of the coalition to drive change going forward.
Okay, great. I hope many will listening to us today can actually be a member and to get connected on whatever it is about PHA.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Rick,
Thank
for
you.
your time.